all you guys here. Anyway, yeah, I'm sitting here in the truck. It's in the night. It's cold. All the above you can imagine. Um, well, they just had news come out here, and I wanted to be able to share this with you guys and everything. That North Korea has, of course, fired another missile over into the waters of Japan, which is rattling Japan's nerves as well as the United States' nerves. Uh, I kind of think it's like a message sent to Biden. But then again, you could probably argue that about as Hal Turner reported, Russia fired over a missile that had a dummy warhead on it, but could have easily been nuclear capable. And it seemed to be that he was sending a message to NATO that if you want to mess with us, we could arm this thing and send it over to you guys. I bet nobody ever really thought about that, right? Um, anyway, then on top of that, I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you guys noticed this or not. Sister Rosa sent me a article that Zelensky was not accepting the responsibility of the blast in Poland that killed two farmers there. And I shared with you guys the crater in that, and I told you, I said that is definitely not a cruise missile, and it's not anything like, we drop bombs from planes. We use the JDAM, and that thing leaves a crater like a cruise missile does as well. So it was not that. It was a much smaller munitions, and NATO had already come out on the Associated Press saying that no, it was not Russia that did that, and they were trying to give Ukraine a nice easy way out by saying, well, they were defending themselves. They were trying to knock down all the missiles that Russia is shooting in, and they accidentally killed these guys. But Zelensky was adamant that they didn't do it. Now, I hate to say this, but in a way, I kind of believe Zelensky on this one. And I'll tell you why. Because in reality, we have a lot of contractors that are there inside of Ukraine fighting on behalf of Ukraine. And it could have very easily been one of our contractors, which would have been United States, Germany, France, somebody like that who ended up causing that accident in Poland. Now, I'm sure it was an accident, nothing done intentionally, but of course, NATO wants Zelensky to accept the responsibility so that it doesn't heighten the tensions between Russia and that of course, NATO. And that's just not going over very well. Also, too, I don't know if we actually mentioned this or not, but the tanker, the Israeli owned, quote unquote, Israeli owned tanker that allegedly Iran sent a drone into that thing there and caused the damage that it did. I am still a little bit at odds with that as well. As I said to you guys the other day, they fabricated when the Japanese tankers were hit. They fabricated it, made it look like it was Iran when in fact it was an inside job. And because of the fact that I already knew that there was supposed to be some event that's going to happen in the Middle East that could cause World War III, I don't think though that Iran, let's say Iran was guilty of bombing a tanker. Let's just say they were. I don't think that would be what would start the war because one, it's only owned by an Israeli billionaire, which they have a lot of those crooked guys over there, and most of those Israeli billionaires, by the way, are former thugs out of the former Soviet Union who have made billions of dollars off of scamming the people of those countries and depleting all of their natural resources, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Not to say that that guy is one of those, but we do know that a lot of that does go on, right? So, anyway, so much craziness is going on. And I don't know if I shared with you guys, I think I did it over on Patreon, though, about Planet X. Um, I do. Maybe I should do the broadcast here. Maybe I did do the broadcast here. Gosh, I don't remember now. My mind is just not clear on which one I did. Anyway, just in case, let's just quickly hit that subject real fast here. Planet X um, is traveling in the ether, as we know. There is a great fear right now. This just came up in a Pentagon briefing here recently that because of it being in the ether, there's a real possibility it could hit a wormhole. And if it does, we're expecting that it may just pop out at any time. And it may end up being a heck of a lot closer than what you realize. So, and that's a tremendous concern. And I normally know when I go to talk about stuff like this, all my flat earth friends that I have, they'll start saying, there's not going to be any planet. Okay. I would love for that to be true. I really would. I mean, believe me, I would love that to be true. But you know, I was thinking today, and I was wondering, how do we resolve the issue of a river that flows downstream from the Great Lakes all the way to the Gulf of Mexico on a flat Earth? Have you ever thought about how much fall that it takes for a river to be able to go that far? What is that, about 1,500 miles? How'd you do that on a flat Earth? I mean, that'd have to be a flippin' high mountain, right? Because you got to have fall for that water to go down that way. But anyway, I'm sure everybody's already figured that one out too, so I won't get into that argument. I literally was thinking about that today, and I was thinking, gosh, anybody ever think about that? I'm sure they have, though. I'm not saying that they haven't got an answer for that. Um, I know years ago I thought about taking up that debate. Uh, that would be an interesting thing. Period. Yeah, I saw somebody put on there about the Nile. Yeah, that's an interesting one as well. I mean, figure that one out, right? Um, maybe it's a bump in the earth. Anyway, by the way, I don't know if I ever shared this with you guys, but the secret space program knows that the Earth is not round nor flat nor any of the above that people think. They actually say it's shaped more like a football. That's an interesting concept, isn't it? Um, Anyway, I got something I want to share with you guys very soon. I'm doing some research on this now, and I can't speak about it here on YouTube. Imagine that. Oh, can you guys tell me that Trump actually didn't he announce that he's going to run for president? Uh, I think that's the case. Let's see. Anybody got anything on that there? I'm just out of curiosity. Yes, he did. Aha! I have actually seen Donald Trump Jr.'s text on a fairly regular basis, and I know that he said back when I was looking at his text last time, don't get to see it every day because I'm not always with certain people, but when I am, I'm able to get to read his text. But he actually, in one text, he said that Daddy doesn't really want to run, but he feels like he's the only guy that can really get the job done because there's so much crookedness there in Washington. Um, okay, and but I will tell you, and granted, he sincerely does believe that. I actually, and I'll share this with you guys. I'm just kind of rambling. I'm gonna have to jump off here in a minute. Um, he, I've been noticing because, like in the case with Mar-a-Lago, I was actually with a friend of mine there that knows Trump Jr. as well as the president very well, and I got to see just how real the situation with Mar-a-Lago was. This wasn't, just some conspiracy theory and something made up and for public consumption, but they really were going through the problems there. And as I watched all that unfold, I realized that and not only with that, but with the situation with them trying to slip Obama in. They're looking for a way to put Obama in some position in Biden's administration to where if we end up in martial law or and something happens to Biden, they could find a way to slip Obama back in power again. And so I asked a friend of mine there, based on what I was watching, I said, it really seems like to me, both sides, whether it be the Democrats or the Republicans, they really do believe that they are the only one that can make a difference. And as I began to look at that, I'm like, how do I say this? I know that like George Soros, Kissinger, these are people that are over and govern these different politicians, but at the same time, there is a very sincere effort by these different world leaders that are in place that feel like that they're the only ones that can make a difference. And Henry Kissinger, that's who I was talking about, Laura. And even Vladimir Putin, in my opinion, he's controlled by Chabad. But at the same time, he's also, thank you, sis, for saying to thumbs up the video. I really appreciate that. Oh, and by the way, too, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. You guys did make a difference on that, by the way, because YouTube really has been trying to stagnate the growth here. And so, yes, subscribe, make sure, resubscribe, whatever you got to do to keep the numbers going in here. And if you can thumbs up the video, that's great too. We really appreciate that because that also helps get the message out. Yeah, I don't know if you notice on my hand, I got a lot of that's the dog biting my hand with my thin skin. Anyway, I want to get back to this issue about Obama and or the Biden administration or Putin's government or Trump or whatever the case may be. These people sincerely believe that they're going to be the ones that'll make a difference and that they have that ability. Um, Even though they control who gets into power and they can control that particular leader. Um, you know, I begin to realize though that there is a real sincerity that these people think that they're the only one that's going to make it happen. Even as crazy as the situation is with the Democrats and the Biden administration, you know, I began to realize that they really think that if Trump gets in power, it's going to destroy the nation. And they believe sincerely that if Trump runs for president, that it's going to create a civil war in this nation. And that's not just haphazard. They really genuinely believe that. Um, and so that's so I actually asked recently one of the president's advisors. I actually asked him about that. I said, I just shared with him my thought on it. I said, I really believe that that's a fair assessment. And I'm talking about a man that's been there since Ronald Reagan. And he said to me, he said, Steve, he said, you're exactly right. And he said, it is true. Yes, they are controlled. They are, he said, presidents make it in, because of their connections and stuff. They're put in there, so to speak. He said if they want to make sure an election is manipulated, they have the power to make sure that election is manipulated. But he said at the end of the day, he said the ones that get in, they really genuinely believe they're going to be the ones that make a difference. Um, and he said normally the first couple of years that they're in, they're trying to learn how the system works. And the last couple of years they have in office there, unless they get reelected, that's when they begin to try to make the changes that they're trying to do. Of course, a lot of them too. They got to make changes for all those billionaires that just supported them, and they owe all them their favors. But in the case of President Trump, he really believes, and he believes it sincerely, he's the only one that can save this nation. I am very curious to see how far he gets. I know that they've been talking about polls with DeSantis, and there seems to be that DeSantis may end up doing better than Trump could. I think, though, if Trump and DeSantis oppose each other in this, it'll end up making it harder. Well, I don't know how to think about that. If they ran together, it'd be a landslide. Let's put it that way. Um, but if they stay opposing each other, they're only going to help the Democrats. Of course, there really is no Democrat that I can see that could actually run that would do a whole heck of a lot of good anyway. And but DeSantis, I will tell you, if DeSantis runs, and he became president, he would be a major danger, in my opinion. And the reason I say that is because he signed a Noahide law bill for the state of Florida in Israel. That that's like major red flag. Now I'm not saying DeSantis has done a lot of great things for the state of Florida. He has been a good governor overall, but that issue right there, that is like man is controlled, and that really concerns me. Other than that, I wouldn't have so much of a problem. Anyway, all right, I've done sit here and really wore you guys' ears out, just blabbing my mouth tonight. So, but I wanted to share some things with you real quick. Gives you guys a chance to talk as well, because I don't do I haven't done comments in a while there. We need to get them back on and stuff, and need to get some friends that could be moderators. We used to have several moderators in here, but I know we quit doing the live broadcasts. Our moderators have kind of uh, gone a different direction, but we really appreciated their work, their help, and they're still moderators as far as I know. So if you sisters want to jump back in there and do that again, or if you'd like to help us out with that, Wendy, that would be great. Really appreciate that. Just shoot me an email then over at stephenbenoon@gmail.com. Put moderator in the subject there, and we'll try to start going back live again. And maybe we could even start doing a regular live broadcast again. That would be really nice. So, anyway, any of you sisters there, I see some, but I have a hard time seeing these are not the best glasses in the world. So, God bless you. We love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And we'll talk tomorrow. Do pray for my wife. It's a very difficult time. I know some of you know and I won't say who, but there was somebody that let the cat out of the bag about what's going on in our family here. Um, and it is a very serious, serious situation. So, um, those of you that already know, we'll just leave it like that there because it should not have gotten out yet. Um, and mainly because the process needs to take and go the right way. So I'll just leave it like that for right now. But just do keep the family in prayer. I appreciate it. God bless y'all, and y'all have a great night.